All right. Remember last year, I started telling you be very, very mindful of the Zion-controlled media as it starts to lose control of the mainstream narrative. And I said you are watching the mainstream social media start being infiltrated in this country and promoted by the same Zionist people that did it on this side, right? Trump, fake news. He went to the heart because this is an emotional, political populism competition, right? It's nothing to do with legislation. It's nothing to do with acts, constitution, or rights. It is find the emotional trigger point and have the people on mainstream social media pull those triggers. And that's what these guys did, right? Same policies, same gatekeepers, and this is the Timu version on our side. Now, don't believe me? Tucker Carlson got fired from the mainstream media. He was dabbling in both, but if you're going to build a Judas goat to go out to the people and get their confidence, you better make sure it looks like there's been a big severing, a massive severing from the system, right? Because the Judas goats are very wary. The goats are very wary. Sheep, they just go up the ramp and get slaughtered, no big deal, right? But the Judas goats, they stand back and go, no, we're a bit smarter than you. We're not just going up there. That's a slaughter yard. So they train the Judas goat and go, hey guys, come in here. Come in the side gate. You'll be safe. It's wonderful. Follow me. Trust me. I look like you and sound like you. Yeah? You see it yet? You understand what he's doing? Do you understand who's controlling it from the back end? The same people that just passed legislation in this country that says, you can't speak about them. Yeah, 0.4% of the population. You can say whatever you want about Muslims, right? I mean, oh my God, it's been shut down and taken off the internet. Pauline Hanson lobbed it straight on her site, and the mainstream media jumped straight on that and said, oh my God, Pauline Hanson's the only person that's allowed it to be aired. Why would they say that? Why would they need to? Because he's the Judas goat. They learnt from MAGA. They watched what's necessary. Now, there's a large contingent of people out there that don't understand the swing of power from left to right. That as long as the power is in their hands, they don't give two shits about all of the people in the middle and all the people on the left in the country. They want stability in their country. They want their side-leaning dictatorship executing the will of the policy officers and the courts and the legal system to make sure that everybody but them is silenced. Remember that, because that's what they do by splitting us down the middle. We forget that the mass majority of the people in this country don't wake up screaming right, screaming left. They don't wake up with a political agenda to punch down your throat for the day. They want harmony, they want peace, they want equality, and they were born into multiculturalism. But let's not forget that there are extremisms on both sides and that those extremists are put into false flag events. Now, just like MAGA, you're going to need a little bit more to control it. I mean, Candace Owens, great information, very God-fearing, loving person, but, you still need to see what it is. Fired from the Daily Wire because of escalating criticism of Israel. Hey guys, I'm one of you. I'm one of you that knows that Israel is running everything through MAGA. And I also support Trump because Trump's going to make America great again. He's got nothing to do with Israel. What's that? Larry Ellison? What's that? Kiss the wall. BB. We give how much money to them? So they all get them in there. And that's what's happening right now. Israel is controlling your politics with a certain person at the top of it, with some certain backers who visited MAGA headquarters and saw what you have to do with the media. And now you see millions and millions of bots and millions of bot accounts and millions of AI accounts. Well, actually, not millions of AI accounts. Tens of thousands of them everywhere in the last 8 months. And we see daily polls. You ever seen daily polls in your life 2 years out from a federal election? It's weird. I mean, I know we've got a state election in Victoria coming up in November, but daily polls all over mainstream media. Everything on mainstream media is daily polls about Pauline Hanson's One Nation. I mean, she's a federal senator for starters, so she doesn't even come up for election until 2028, but let's not let that get in the way of a good story. I don't know. I just made this to keep you mindful that these guys popped up out of nowhere, the new pretty faces, right? They're the new pretty faces of the mainstream social media. Yeah, they've been on his show when he first came out, the first 10 episodes. He interviewed three One Nation people, and he interviewed these guys twice. He had this guy twice, just nobody. They're not talking politics to a level of, legislation, constitution, historic, high court matters or anything along those lines. They're not talking about sovereignty. Yeah, they're all for the blue flag waving foreign occupation that she won't talk about, right? So this is just my opinion, and I'll get the hate for it. And the beauty part is they all get paid for their content. I don't. So you can hate on it, you can yell on it, but the only people that hate and yell are people who are triggered emotionally. And that is what popular politics is leaning on. They need you to be emotionally fearful and angry because of the false flag events that happened, and we don't want it to happen again in our country. Take all the guns, because remember, you can't blame 800,000 Muslims for what happened, but you can blame 900,000 gun owners. And you can't say anything about these people in the background because legislation bans it, right? But you can say whatever you want about the Muslims. That should tell you what's going on in this country, right? That should tell you when 0.4% of the population has laws that stop you talking about them. But 4% of the population, Muslims, are the problem for everything. And if we got rid of them socially and culturally in this country, we would be amazing, right? There's some problems in extremism. There's some problems in all of those bullshit books of religions when men interpret it, to go to war. But I promise you that what you're seeing is the same thing as MAGA, and you'll have the same result. A torn country. An absolutely disabled country, a country of rallies and protests and arguments over who's in charge. There is no path back to unity. There is no path back to reality. There is only populist politics of triggered emotional people who scream the loudest when you tug on the safety blanket. That's what the MAGA people do. And there's no fact behind it. There's no data behind it. There's nothing behind it. This happened 6% 2025, 6% primary vote 2025, lost ground in every measure to Labor. All of them did. They lost ground in every measure to Labor. 6%, 7%, 8%, no big deal all year long. Bondi happens after these people warned that there would be an event. 21% in January. 3 weeks later, 21%. You tell me that that's not a fear reaction. You tell me that that's not going to invoke some wild laws out of there to protect all the fearful people of who they say was personally and only responsible for what happened. I'm not saying don't watch them. I'm not saying don't listen to them. They all have a lot of truth. They just disguise it under a narrative and only speak one way while these things come in the background. And they are very, very dangerous. The young girl that just got put in jail the other day for wearing a from the river to the... See what I mean? That's where you watch. That's what you see what's going on. In the background, that is what is playing out in real time from the popularism competition on the mainstream media and now mainstream social media. Watch your feed. Look at your algorithm. Fear, hate, anger, fear, hate, anger, fear, fight, flight. Division, left, right, no middle. That's what they need. They need the goyim to kill each other. Because nothing says terror like taking an opportune selfie after you happen to survive the last attack. Kind of feels like it's all a bit of a show. Now remember, this is when Trump got the old thank goodness for God doing it. At the moment we're hearing about death threats. Let's see how that plays out.